Hey team, welcome to your Barefoot Bootcamp class. This is number 10. This is the end of the volume. So if you're done with this volume, you can always go back to volume 1, which is kettlebells. This is dumbbells. And then volume 3 is coming shortly. Today for class, you're gonna need a pair of heavy dumbbells. I got two 20s, a pair of medium, I have two 10s, and a light one for technique. We are gonna get started with a mobility flow at the top of the mat. You know how we do. We're gonna go through each section 3 times. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not too fast, not too slow. Feet wide, parallel ideally. Hands are gonna reach straight up overhead. You're gonna drop the hips as if you're going into a squat and place your hands directly in front of your toes. Step back into a plank position, lift the right leg, and then place the foot directly behind the wrist, and then reach up. And we got 2 more times, just like that. And you're just gonna go for a full range of motion. Plank position, lift up the left leg, keep it lifted, place it behind the wrist, stand straight up. Obviously we're working kind of through a squat and a hinge pattern. Best of both worlds. Lift up, squeeze the core, stand up, adding on to the next section of our mobility flow. We're just gonna do a variation on what we just did, except this time you're gonna push back, downward dog, articulate through plank, lift the right leg, step, and then reach. When your hands are above your head, you can imagine like lifting your shoulders up towards the ceiling, giving yourself a little active shoulder action. Lift up leg, behind wrist, behind wrist. We have 1 more. You should be balanced because we did 3 and 3. Stepping back, plank position, downward dog. Don't forget about the articulation like I did, rolling through, stepping, lifting, step, and then step. Reaching straight up, finish at the top, bring your feet about hip-width distance apart. We're going for calf raises, 3 in the neutral position. Arms can be by the side. You lift up to the balls of the feet and lower down. Your focus and your aim is important on this one, so think between the big toe and the second toe is where you're gonna press down through. Lifting the heels up high, lower down. Now turn your heels in, toes out, making the letter V, lifting up, and then lowering down. And I really want you to think about controlling the descent down so you feel the balls of the feet pressing into the mat and your calf muscles lighting up. You're gonna turn in this last round. Toes in, heels out, same thing. Find the balance, pressing into the balls of the feet. This one will be a little more challenging because you're internally rotated and that doesn't happen a lot. Lift up. And when I said that was the last round, actually we got 2 more to go. Step back slightly so that right toe's in line with the left heel. Staggered, and you're gonna lift up and lower down. Keep the chin level, shoulders relaxed, spine tall. Arms can be by the side, lifting up and control it down. Step back left foot, so left foot pretty much in line with the right heel, lifting up. We're making our way towards the back of the mat. You have 2 more. You're gonna feel the drive more through the rear leg because more of the weight's back there, and then lower down. Stepping back, back of the mat, feet kind of wide. Take a big inhale, open up the chest as you exhale, articulate. Coming into James Bond or Charlie's Angels, stand back tall, neutral spine, tuck the chin. Pilates, standing articulation, hips back, soft bend in the knees, roll it up. A little bit smoother, inhale, exhale. Round the spine, let the shoulder blades slide out of the pocket. Stand tall, drop the chin, roll it all the way down. Keep the feet planted firm. Strong and stable, last one. Even with my feet here, I'm separating the mat, kind of activating the lateral parts of my hip. Big inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, round. Stand, drop. Roll it all the way down. From this position, you're not gonna come back up. You're gonna roll out, coming into your tabletop position. In this tabletop position, we're gonna go a little bit more behind, so not directly behind the hips or underneath the hips, slightly behind, so a little bit longer because we're gonna make this a little mobility flow. So shoulders down the back, draw your right leg in, and then bring it across the thigh and kind of do a figure 4. Send the right leg directly to the side, drop your hips back, and then forward. Now circle the leg back into a plank position, and then pick up the hips. Bring the left leg into scorpion. Bring it across to the opposite knee. Squeeze the core back to plank. Drop it down. And don't worry, we'll have 2 more times to do that, so no worries. Going to the left side. Draw your left knee in. Figure forward across the thigh. Open up the hip a little bit. Slide it to the right, or your left. You're going to drop back. And then swing the leg around. Pick up the hip. Coming into scorpion on the right, and then bring it across to the opposite knee. Tiger curl, squeezing the core. Back to plank position, drop it down. 2 more sets. So, right knee retracts in, fold it, and bring the right ankle across the left thigh. Retract it, extend to the right, drop the hips back. Send it forward, swing, circle the leg. It's the left leg that's going to come into scorpion. Bending the knee, looking underneath your left arm, and then bring knee to opposite elbow, squeeze the core, plank position, drop it down, bring it in, retract it, fold it, figure 4 it, extend to your left, flat-footed, and just drop the hips back, sending the weight away from the hands, circle, sweep it, back into a plank position, and then the right leg, scorpion, open the hip, look underneath the arm, bring it across, opposite elbow, squeeze the core, back to plank position, drop both knees, last time through, a little bit more fluid, so draw in, figure 4, extend, drop, swing it, pick it up, scorpion, look underneath the arm, draw it across, opposite elbow, back to plank position, drop the knees, and then last time, other side. Woo. Actually, I like this one a lot. It's opening up the hips, it's getting me mobile, engaging the core, and it's not too complex, but complex enough that should keep your attention. Back to plank position, drop it down. You're gonna bring your feet in a little bit. So this is more of a quad press setup. You're on the balls of the feet, the knees are slightly turned out. Your fingers are gonna be slightly turned in. Clear the space if you need it, because you are gonna be reaching forward. Dropping down, the right arm's gonna thread through. As you drop down, you're going to thread. Arm is long, dropping towards the shoulder. Same arm, you're gonna extend it to the right, opening up and stretching the pec, and then send it forward. 3-way quad press stretch. Left hand's gonna thread. I like having the palm down. Palm down, you're gonna reach and reach forward. So your pattern's pretty simple. As you thread, you're going to drop your hips a little bit, and the elbow will bend. It has to in order for you to reach. Getting a little bit of a stretch. So bend the elbow almost to a 90, out, and then forward. Last time through, thread it. Ooh, I went the wrong way. So underneath, and then side, and then forward. Underneath, you'll find the rhythm. Back to the plank position. You're going to tuck the toes and then push back to downward dog. Hop the feet outside the hands. Drop your hips back. On this one, you're going to do a little bit of a swing. All right, so your right hand's going to stay planted, fingers facing out. You're going to pick up the left arm. You let it swing outside. As you dip the hip, reach up. So just a little bit of a twist. I'm just reaching up and back. And then rotating, other side. So very simple movement pattern. This arm's going to swing outside the lead knee. Dipping the hip, reaching up. Rotating from the waist, the hips are going to stay somewhat square. Reaching up, like so. Now we're going to add on to this, deepening the rotation a bit. Left hand's going to go to shoulder and press the hip straight up. Drop the hip. Fold the legs to the right. Take your elbow and touch the floor. And then back to center, same side. So press the hip up. Left hand stays on the shoulder. I'm just going to rotate, stays on the shoulder, bend the right elbow, and see if you can get the back or more of the back of the tricep on the floor. Last one. Press hip extension, rotate at the top, drop, fold the shins, and then keep the hand on the shoulder, twist, back to center. And then we're going to go right to the other side. So left hand planted, right hand is going to come across, stays right there. You're going to press up, drop, and then you'll rotate. Maybe we'll just start by tapping the elbow, not so much aiming for the back of the arm. Second one, hip extension, pressing the hips up, 2 shoulders in one line. Dip your hip, and then drop your knees to the left, coming into a windshield wiper or a windscreen wiper. And then rotate a bit more. You can deepen the rotation by bending your left elbow a little bit more. So now you're going to rotate, just like so, and see if you can really rotate and bend, coming back through tabletop position. So remember that rotational type movement because we're going to need it. I'm going to show you an exercise for your upper back. If you want to get a little bit stronger, your elbows are going to be at about this angle. It's almost a 45-degree angle, right between the hips and the ribs. You're going to dig in to the floor. Your feet are going to be wide, and you're going to press yourself up. So I'm really using no momentum. I'm really pressing my elbows into the mat, squeezing the top of my back muscles, the traps, rhomboids, and lowering down. We'll do one more, so really active. Squeezing the core is harder than it looks. Lower back down. Now you're going to do it with your feet narrow, pressing the feet into the mat. This also can act as a core drill because when you get to the top, you can squeeze the core. So I'm not using momentum to throw myself up. I'm literally driving my elbows into the earth. Earth doesn't move, I move. And then we'll do one more, this time with the feet turned out. Cobbler's pose, lift up. Squeezing at the top. Core, 2. Contracting the top back muscles, last one. Lower down. Cup the hands so they're directly overhead. You can start with your heels a little bit closer together. We're doing sets of 3. Press the hips up and squeeze the glutes for 1. Lower down, pick up 2. And I'm just going for high quality of contraction, a little more challenge. You can lift up the hands a little higher, step it out further. We do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to roll up, cross the ankles, little mobility action, roll all the way up. Right ankle in front of left, just stand straight up. If you can, without the hands, then lower back down. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Switch the ankles, left over right. I'm going to go all the way down. From laying down, you just woke up, you're going to reach. Ooh, yes. And if you got to use your hands, use your hands. If not, just continue reaching. The body is incredible. It feels, if you think of it as like rubber bands and slings everywhere, works with you because I'm reaching, and the lever is going to reach so far forward, then it's going to stand all the way up. You're going to grab your light dumbbell before we get into a little bit of cardio action. So on this one, I want you to grab the light dumbbell because it is a movement we're going to do a little bit later, and you want the technique to be on point and on par. So the right toe is going to be in line with the left heel. Draw it at about a 45-degree angle. You don't need to move it anymore. It's going to stay in this position. Right hand, right thumb goes to the top of the right shoulder. You're going to throw it, and you're going to internally rotate your thumb so the thumb is facing back away from you. So we're going to go for 5 reps, or actually 3 reps on the right, 3 reps on the left. Here's what it looks like. Just let it swing. So you have to internally rotate. Think of the thumb going back towards the back wall, 2. We'll do one more, 3. Now we're going to do 3, but we're going to step up as we do it. So we'll do 1 and step. Now step back, let it swing, 2. So I'm going outside my lead leg, internally rotate the thumb, last one. Not a heavy weight, we're just doing it for the movement purpose and practice.